Hello guys, myself Dr. Chintan Panchal. I am MBBS graduate and I am trying something new to help you guys. I have decided to cover small topics which are asked in many competitive exams and which are high yield topics. So without further ado, let's get started. So today's topic is trauma management basics. Okay, so let's get started. So guys, I have made this concise notes by myself today. I have covered many topics from Love and Bailey and my previous notes and Sabiston and Surgery Sixer book from Dr. R. Raja Mahendran, and I have made some important points out of that. So let's get started. So guys, what is trauma? So trauma is the most common cause of death in the first 4 decades of life. Okay, these are some just basic uh, factual knowledge. Okay, you don't have to remember it at all, but I'm just telling you it is the most common cause of death in the first 4 decades. So there are some traumatic injuries, there are mechanism of injuries. Okay, so there are two types of injuries, like overt injury and the covert injury. So overt injuries. So I have remembered this as the overt means the obvious injuries. You can apply your some mnemonic or method of remembering it. So obvious injuries. So like we can tell that if the person is coming to you with the singed facial hair, so you can say that it is a burn injury patient. Okay, or there are some, or imagine the scenario when a patient come to you with a lot of bruises on his body. Okay, so you can tell it is a blunt trauma. Okay, so it is an obvious injury, you don't have to ask patient about the injury. Okay, now the covert injury. So what is the covert injury means? Covert means the hidden injuries or covered injuries. You cannot tell if the patient is suffering from this injury or not by looking at him. So the example of the covered injuries are like if the man or a female or a man or a female ended up in the road traffic accident and he or she wearing a seat belt. So if there is a decelerating force, so there can be a duodenal tear. As you know, the except the first part of the duodenum, whole duodenum is a retroperitoneal organ. So you have to apply your basic common sense or uh, ex- some investigations to find out the injuries. Okay, so it's a covert injury. So now we are moving on to the triage system. Like why are we prioritizing the patients in that? Okay, so guys, first of all, what is triage? Its base literal meaning is to sort. Okay, so we are uh, prioritizing the patient according to their need of the treatment. Okay, so to sort is means to triage. So here I made the graph. On the y-axis I have put the mortality, and on the x-axis I put the time. Okay, so this if we suppose this is the impact injury, at this point the accident or some bad event occurred, so there is a higher chances of mortality at that point of time. Okay, then this is the 1 hour, it is a golden period of the trauma. Okay, it is a golden period, so this can be the golden period. I am explaining you this on later on. Okay, this is a golden period, and these spikes on the graph representing the mortality. Okay, so what is this A, B and C? Okay, so guys, A in the previous graph suggesting the injuries which can cause the death on the spot. Okay, we cannot prevent it, and the ratio of that deaths are very high. Okay, like massive head injury or large aortic tear. Okay, we cannot prevent it. Okay, now the B. So what is B? That's I told you the golden hour. Okay, golden hour. 1 hour is the golden hour of the trauma. So there can be tension pneumothorax, hemothorax, cardiac tamponade, airway obstruction, tracheobronchial tree injuries. So if the patient will get the proper treatment in that time, he or she can be saved. Okay, so that's why it is called the golden hour. So we have to enhance our efforts to save the patient in that hour. Now C. So if the patient is saved, we and he or she discharged from the hospital, but later on he or she developed sepsis, or the delayed head injury will be there. So it can be the death can be occur after weeks or months of the impact of the injury. So for managing the trauma, ATLS made some guidelines. What is ATLS? It is Advanced Trauma Life Support. Okay. So according to their guidelines, we have to do the primary survey along with the simultaneous resuscitation to identify the probable cause of the death, okay, and the lethal injuries, and the secondary survey to identify the other injuries and the definitive care. Okay, so what comes under the primary survey? So they made some A, B, C, D, E of the ATLS. Okay, so what is A, B, C, D, and E? Okay, so according to ATLS guidelines, A means airway management, B is breathing, C is circulation control, and D means disability and neurological status, and E means exposure. Okay, but there is a big but. So if you can see the excessive external hemorrhage, okay, you have to manage it first before managing the airway. Okay, imagine a scenario when a patient comes to you, and he has a large tear uh, on his thigh, okay, and lot of blood loss is there. So you have to put some packing or ligate the artery, or use the tourniquet to stop that hemorrhage first. So in the triad system, we classified the patient in the four categories. There are color coding of the tag. Okay, we provide the tag to the patient, and there are color coding. So there are four colors: red, yellow, green, and black. So what is red? It is the most prioritized patient. Okay, they need the instant, on the spot intervention, so we can save them. Okay, which kind of patient fall under this category? I told you the golden hour of the trauma. Okay, there are tension pneumothorax, cardiac tamponade, blocked airway, tracheobronchial tree injury. That kind of patient falls under this category. And now the yellow, so requires admission but intervention can wait. Okay, so what kind of patient falls under this category? So suppose there is a female patient who has a fracture in the femur. Okay, so it is not a life threatening condition, so she can wait, but the admission is required. It's not like that we do not prioritize the patient, they can we totally neglect them, not like that, but the interventions can wait. Now the minor priority, like green, they are like walking wounded, some minor wounds or lacerations are there, but they can manage, or manage by themselves, but so we prioritize them at last. And the black, or they are moribund or the dead patient. So moribund and dead patient, we do not prioritize them at all. And because however hard we try, the chances of survival of these patients are very less. So these are the four categories of triage in a normal condition. But in the war, okay, in the war, the nation needs healthy soldiers into the battlefield. Okay, so the prioritization of the patients is reverse. So if you are traveling doctor with the soldiers, you have to save the green patients first. Okay, so they can continue into the battlefield later on. Now in the secondary survey, we have to check the back of the patient. Okay, backside of the patient. So for that, we cannot just ask the patient to roll over, and okay, because there are many injuries, so he or she cannot roll over. So there are a technique called a log roll technique. So at least four people are required to perform a log roll. Okay, now we are moving on to the ABCDE of the trauma management by ATLS guidelines. So first of all, airway management. So before managing the airway, we have to stabilize the cervical spine. Okay, we have to stabilize the cervical spine. So what are the signs that indicates the cervical spine injury? There can be a bruise on the neck, tenderness of the neck, comatose patient, severe head injury, or restricted movements of the neck. And we use the Philadelphia collar for stabilizing the cervical spine. If the Glasgow Coma Scale score is 8 or less than 8, uh, I'd, this is the indication to secure the airway. Okay, so for securing the airway, we use the cuffed endotracheal tube for intubation. There are two types of endotracheal tube available. There's a orotracheal tube and the nasotracheal tube, but we mostly prefer the orotracheal tube. Okay, so but there are some limitations where we cannot use the oral tracheal tube, like facial-maxillary fracture. Okay, but at least try once before trying the nasotracheal intubation in this patient. But the nasotracheal intubation also has some contraindications, like if there is a fracture of the base of the skull, okay, and the anterior part, so there can be a CSF leak from that side, so we cannot use nasotracheal intubation, as infection may spread from outside to outer environment to the brain area. Okay, now the breathing. We provide the oxygen via the reservoir mask. Ventilation must be assessed by movement of the chest wall. This all thing will be discussed under the tension pneumothorax or simple pneumothorax or hemothorax section. Now the circulation. Whenever you have to provide the crystalloids to the patient, okay, we have to secure the IV lines, two IV lines by at least 18 gauge needle. Okay, 18 gauge needle, two. Okay, sorry, before we continue the circulation, I forgot to tell you something. Like in the emergency condition, we also use the cricothyroidotomy to secure the airway. Okay, and in the facial-maxillary fracture patient, the definitive airway management is tracheostomy. Okay, so so now back on the circulation part, that I already said, we have to insert two large bore cannulas, at least 18 gauge. So here's the catch: at least 18 gauge. So if examiner says there is 16 gauge cannula also available, so you have to put a 16 gauge cannula into that patient. Okay, not 18 gauge. So this is the high yield topic, the gauge of the cannula. Okay, so I have made this list. So there are the 14 gauge is the orange cannula, 16 gauge gray cannula, 18 gauge green cannula, 20 gauge pink cannula, 22 blue, and 24 yellow, which is used in pediatric patients. And if you cannot secure the peripheral IV line, okay, if you cannot secure the peripheral IV line, go for the central line in the internal jugular vein. Or in the emergency condition, you can also do the venesection in the saphenous vein, or the intraosseous intraosseous route you can choose, like just below the tibial tuberosity, but this method mostly used in the children. Okay, now we are moving on the final segment of the video, like disability and exposure. The Glasgow Coma Scale. Okay, this is the most important score in the entire medical field. Okay, आप 10 बार पढ़ोगे 10 बार यही भूल जाओगे, ये ऐसा स्कोर है, इसलिए ये थोड़ा ध्यान से करना होता है. सो देर आर थ्री पैरामीटर्स वी आर टेकिंग इन टू द कंसिडरेशन. मैंने ऐसा याद रखा था, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक वोटिंग मशीन EVM 456. सो आई ओपनिंग के 4 पॉइंट हो गए, वर्बल कमांड के 5 पॉइंट, और मोटर कमांड के मोटर एक्टिविटी के 6 पॉइंट हो गए. So first of all, eye opening. So if you are assessing the patient and he or she doesn't open the eye, so you will give you the score 1. If he or she uh, opening the eye to the painful stimulus, what is the painful stimulus here? You can make a fist like this. You can make a fist like this, and imagine this is a sternum, and you have to press the sternum like this. Okay, it is very painful. Try it by yourself. And we give score of 3 if the patient is opening eye to the loud voice or on the verbal command, and we will give the score of 4 if it is a spontaneous eye opening. Now the verbal parameter. So if the patient cannot speak at all, so we give 1. Then incomprehensible sound, like we cannot understand what patient is saying, so we will give it score of 2. For 3 there is a inappropriate words, like वो गाली देता है, ऐसा सब कुछ होता है, foul words, and confused के लिए 4, and 5 point for normal speech. Now the motor. So if there is no movements at all, so we will give the score of 1. And if there is an abnormal extension, this is also called as decerebrate rigidity. Okay. And now the 3 for the abnormal flexion, this is also called a decorticate rigidity. And if the patient withdraws to the pain, so we will give the score of 4. And if the patient can localize the pain, we will give the score of 5. And he or she obeys the command, we will give the score of 6. Now from this table they can ask you questions based on a clinical scenario, like they will ask you, the male patient this year of age come to the emergency room with this, he is opening the eye to the painful stimulus, he is confused, and his right arm is in abnormal extension, in left arm can localize the pain. So here you always have to count the score to the higher score. Okay, so I will not take the right arm's abnormal extension here. Okay, so now there is another score like GCS P score. So what is P? P is the pupillary reaction. We throw the light to the pupil and we check the pupillary constriction there, and like we give the score of 0, 1, 2 to 3 them. Okay, so if someone's Glasgow Coma scale is 12, okay, suppose there is a Glasgow Coma scale of the patient A is 12, so if the both pupils are reactive, so we will give the 0 score. If only one pupil is reactive, we will give the score of 1. And if the both pupils are non-reactive, we will give the score of 2. So what is GCSP? We have to minus the pupillary score from the main GCS score, which will give you GCSP score. So here 12, and suppose the only one pupil is reactive, so we will give the score of 1. So 12 minus 1 is equal to 11. The GCSP score of this patient is 11. Now imagine a scenario that where patient is intubated, okay, and we have to assess the GCS score for that patient. So what will you do? So his or her verbal command we cannot assess. Okay, so we simply write as suppose this is 2 and motor is 5, so V and T. Okay, the NT means non-testable. Okay, here's the NT means non-testable. So if we cannot test the parameter, we just write the NT means non-testable. Okay, so imagine another scenario, like we have a patient who has a eye patches on. Okay, so we cannot assess the eye opening, so here we simply write as ENT and like P whatever it is, and M whatever it is. Okay, so we simply give NT. So I hope you guys enjoy this session. I know the video quality and audio quality are not very good because I am recording this on my phone and with my earphones. So if I get good response, I will try to improve, and I will try to improve myself also. So thank you for watching, guys. If you find this enjoyable and informative, please share to your friends and please subscribe.